am Dr. J. Bliss, relationship and intimacy coach, as well as a trauma awareness coach, and an author, an educator, just many, many hats. But I wanted to welcome you in the room. This is my office space, and I wanted to do something just a little bit different today. And I wanted to speak to single women. I wanted to speak to especially younger women in their 20s, women in their 30s. But if you're single, if you know someone that's single, I invite you to share this information to them, and like this, save this, so that you can share this to someone that's single that might be wondering about, should I be in a relationship, and should I be focused on being married, focused on having children. If you know someone that is going through those type of thought changes, this is a wonderful session that I am sharing, and I just ask that you share it with others also. So what I'm doing today is I'm combining my authorship, coaching aspect, and a twist of educator in this session, because this is a topic that's very dear to me. And I wrote a story, and it's actually a part of the holiday romance series I have. It's going to be kind of difficult, but here it is. It's entitled No I Do in My Future. Yes, No I Do in My Future. And this story, you can locate it on Kindle from Amazon. You can also locate it you can get it, check out my website, jblissbooks.com, jblissbooks.com, and you can get more insight about many stories that I write. I write many romance stories, but in the midst of those stories, I am focusing on teaching you something. I want things to be thought-provoking for you, whether it's in an intimate session, romantic session, or just something about day-to-day life. And so in this story, the female is Nia, and the male character is Rashad. Nia, I crafted Nia because I saw her as an opportunity to display a woman that has all of the finances. She has her entrepreneurship. She has the career aspect for her life going, and what she yearns for is a spouse and children. She wants to have children. She wants to be married. And with Rashad, I crafted a guy that knows what he wants, and he's intentional about laying a foundation with the woman that he chooses to be in his life. And so again, the name of the book is called No I Do in My Future. No I Do in My Future. And if you go to Amazon, you will find this under, you could go to my author page, J Bliss, or you can go to my website, jblissbooks.com, to get more information about my stories. But let me get more into the topic. So this is part of the holiday romance series. This is volume 3 and 4 if you look in the ebook section. And so anyway, what I was thinking of with Nia was focusing on those women that are bombarded in life with the question, should I be married right now, or why am I not married right now? And so I thought that Nia was the perfect person to craft, and I looked at so many different statistics, so many different scenarios, because I wanted to do a great job with crafting real life situations. And so when the story starts off, it's different, because in this novel it's starting with the perspective of the female. And when it starts off with the perspective of the female, she's busy, she's working, and you see that she has things, her ducks in a row for her career, but in her mental space, she asked herself about being married. She says to herself, I thought I would have been married by now. And she's not. And because she's not married by now, it bothers her psyche. And so I'm going to read to you just the introduction of the story. If you just bear with me, I'm getting this to pull up. So it reads in chapter 1, I thought I'd be married and have a child by now. Again, the opening statement says, I thought I'd be married and have a child by now. So many women are thinking they should be married and have children by now. And this is the session. Come on in, invite your friends, like, follow, subscribe to my channel, and share this session with your friends, because everything that I'm going to talk about is around that statement. I thought I'd be married and have children by now. Women in their 20s and in their 30s, they have this God-forsaken pressure that they're supposed to get married. They really do. And what they hear often is, why haven't you settled down by now? And that's a lot of pressure. Oh, I thought you'd be settled down at this time. You're still in your 30s and you're approaching your 40s and you still haven't settled down. This is pressure. This is pressure, because the women are not hearing, I thought you would have been more involved in your career by now. I thought you would have been more involved in developing, your purpose in life by now. No, women hear, I thought you would have been married, settled down by now. In their 20s and in their 30s. This is what they're hearing. And so if a woman is in her 50s and she has not been married, or either she's divorced, she still has that pressure in the back of her mind, that pressure that steeps up from the shoulder up to the back of your neck. Yeah, she has that pressure that society says, I should be married by now. I should have children by now. This is a problem. This is a huge problem for women. And I decided to portray that aspect in the story, No I Do, in my future. So in the story, I portray the average African-American female that's bombarded by the pressure of not only society, but her mother, okay? Her mother is the one that puts so much pressure on her about being married. Her family has all this insight about her settling down. What does it mean to settle down? That's what I want to get into. Have you ever thought about, breaking down the terminology of the word to settle down? Because this is a problem for women all over the world. In my story, No I Do, in my future, I'm focusing on the African-American female perspective that's hearing, haven't you settled down? Why haven't you settled down already? So, but this is a problem worldwide. It's not just something that goes on with African-American women. So what does it mean to settle down? That's the word. That's why I have my little board over here to be the little educator. And yep, you can't even see it. So I will just forego right now because you can't see it. But to settle down is to get into a comfortable position, sitting or lying. That's what the term settle down means. Now, to settle down with someone is to become quiet and calm or make someone quiet or calm. Now, the notion of settling down in love means to live a quiet life in one place, get married, buy a house, and start a family. Now, in the psychology behind the meaning of settling down means to let go of the things that are important to you. The psychology of the terminology of settling down means to let go of what is important to who you are, what you believe in, and even to the extent of, just compromise how you want to be treated and how you think you should be loved. This psychology of settling down is you compromising yourself as well as you're compromising the needs of yourself. That's what settling down is from the psychology aspect of it. Settling down, settling in the mind is, well, not so much just in the mind, but when someone tells you to settle, the trend aspect of it is how society puts pressure on you. And, you have family members who are putting pressure on you of this instant gratification to be married. But with the notions of the instant gratification of being married comes permanent damage. You have permanent damage that you're going to have to deal with in the long run. So Nia is this 35-year-old female, and she's accomplished. She's financially taken care of. She lives overseas. She also has a fiance of 8 years that lives in California. Make sure you invite people in, because I'm telling you, in this story, I'm dealing with real life situations. And so because I'm dealing with real life situations, I needed to make sure that the reader could relate to this wholeheartedly. So again, she's 35 years old. She's accomplished. She's financially taken care of. She lives overseas. She has a fiance of 8 years. Yes, you heard that correct. Of 8 years. And he resides in California. She's been engaged for 8 years. This is an instant gratification move. To be involved with someone in an engagement for 8 years is to settle down. It's like, well, say she went fishing. say you've gone fishing and you have a fish on the hook, and you decide to keep it on the hook for 8 years. Now, you can throw it back out there, but you keep it on the hook for 8 years. So this is what this particular female in this story is doing. She's engaged with a guy for 8 years that lives in California, and she resides in overseas. That's where she works, overseas. So the long-term damage that she has is she's going to have to unpack that she settled down with this man. She made a decision to settle down with this man for 8 years in a monogamous relationship, an engagement. Now, you read the story so you can get more details about it, because everything that unfolds about the situation between her and the guy she's engaged with is unbelievable, but really true. It's really true. It's a situation that really had happened, and I didn't experience it, but I did research, and upon the research that I gathered, it was a real scenario that happened. So anyway, so she has pressure. I mentioned that she had pressure from her mother, and her mother doesn't, back off. Her mother is constantly telling her, you need to settle down, you need to get married, you need to be married. Even with the fiance, y'all need to set a date. Yeah, I need to have grandbabies. She always has this pressure, and with this pressure, she also has a man that she's with. Distance, yes, but she's in this relationship with this guy that never sets a date. So she has the pressure of her mother, and she has the pressure of the guy that she's engaged with. So she stays with him. She makes more money than him. But she still plays the role. She goes along with, keeping him on the hook instead of casting him back over in the ocean. She keeps him on the hook, and in her mind it's, I caught me one, so let me just portion him, mold him, build him the way that he could be, so that I could live happily ever after, because I have all the success I need financially. I'm just missing the component of having a guy in my life. I'm missing the component of having children in my life. That's the permanent damage that she's, and I say it's permanent damage because getting out of a relationship like that causes damage. It causes conflict in the relationship that you have in the future, because your mind has a moral compass that says this is the way that I should think. Therefore, I'm going to make certain decisions in my life based on me morally thinking I should settle down with the first thing that I get caught, that I catch on my hook. So at any rate, settling down is a mental state, especially for women. It's a mental state for women because it declares she's to let go of her life and her aspirations and relinquish all of this to be with a man. And in this, it creates a permanent damage cycle. So when can it be unpacked and undone? Yes, but with the partner that, if the person does the proper thing to be healthy and heal from it, she still has to explain to the person that she's with, this is where I came from. Because there's still going to be times that her mind might, switch back to that default, and she has to, remind herself, and with the help of the partner that she does decide to be with, she'll have to explain to him, hey, I had a moment. I reverted back to the old program. Now I'm up to date. I had to do a new version. So when you settle down, you put yourself in a position where you're being mistreated, you're losing sight of your dreams, and you're compromising yourself and your self needs to keep up with a trend, to keep up with a paradigm that you had absolutely nothing to do with. You didn't sit down and say, I'm supposed to be in a marriage by the time I'm 25. I'm supposed to be in a marriage by the time I'm in my 30s. I'm supposed to have children by this time. Those are not paradigms that you created and signed up for. But you have pressure from society. You have pressure from family members. And so this is why I'm saying this is important, because it causes so much damage to women. So many people are getting in dysfunctional relationships, and it causes trauma. Yes, I'm aware that, I can help guide a person that has gone through trauma. However, if a person is aware that these are dysfunctional, grounding paths that you're setting for your life, then to me, it can help prevent it happening in the future. And so my hope is that you become aware of this and realize that you can set your own goals and aspirations, and don't let age determine what time frame you're supposed to do something. Life is not a race for everything that you're doing. Your race is to be ran at your own pace, because it's your life. And you are to define what it is that's valuable, what's important for you. And so I don't think it's fair, but most importantly, I don't think that it's healthy to live by the societal rules that says, hey, you're supposed to be married by the time you're 30, and you're supposed to be having these children and, you know, keep procreating. No. So I wrote No, I Do in My Future with the perspective to challenge the rules of engagement that says you're supposed to be married and you're supposed to have children by a certain time. I also wrote No, I Do in My Future to challenge, you know, the flip side of it, to challenge things with Rashad. Rashad is the male interest, you know, the male love interest in the story that has, you know, he has things going on, but he has some things that he does intentionally because he wants to lay a certain type of foundation for the woman that he shares his life with. And so, you know, that's for another episode. But with with Nia, and Nia is definitely that female that I captured to create for the reader to really think about, you know, am I living my life, you know, as what society says? Am I living my life based on what, you know, my parents have told me to do? You know, giving me a deadline that says I need to be married by this time frame. So if you feel like you're required to be married and required to have children by a certain age, my question to you is why? Why do you think you're supposed to have children? Why do you think you're supposed to be married by a certain age? Are you prepared to be a wife? Are you prepared to be a mother? These are responsibilities, demanding responsibilities, relentless. They do not stop. Are you prepared? Do you know yourself? Do you know your aspirations and dreams and your goals and your purpose in life? Do you know these? When you go to school, I'll say this, when you go to school, the reason why you're going to school is to learn. So when you're in school, they'll ask you, well, what do you want to be in life? And it, you know, stems to some type of career. And when you figure out what job it is, what career path that you want to take, then they'll tell you, okay, now you need to take these types of courses so that you can do it. They don't give you the career first just because you say, hey, this is the, you know, the career that I want. I want to be a pilot. They don't say, okay, well, here are the keys, there's the plane, go out there and fly. No, they prepare. It's a preparation process. So are you prepared to be a wife? Are you prepared to be a mother? If the answer is no, why are you trying to sign up for that responsibility now, knowing you're not prepared? How do I know I'm prepared? Number one, you'll definitely know that you're healthy enough to share yourself with someone else. You have to be healthy mentally, physically, spiritually. Your cup has to be full. It has to be full. Why would I share? I have water here. It's down here. So why would I share it with 5 people? I don't have enough to share it with 5 people. This is enough for me. Your cup has to be full. So please, the question again, if you think you're supposed to be married by a certain age, have children by a certain age, why? This is not a race. You know, go at your own pace. Go at your own pace. To learn more about connecting with me, make sure that you private message me. You can go to my website, jblissbooks.com, jblissbooks.com. That's plural with an S. Books is plural with an S, jblissbooks.com. You could also follow me on social media with Dr. J Bliss. and connect with me, and I can continue to give you more tips. We can get sessions together for coaching, and I can help you to understand, enlighten you about better preparation to be the person that you need to be for yourself first. Again, next time I will make sure that I talk about Rashad, because I did do a different twist with him. But thank you so much for coming and sharing this time with me. Make sure you share this information with someone else. And I want you to have a beautiful rest of your day. Sending you love and peaceful energy. Bye-bye.